Wisdom, the final frontier to true knowledge. Welcome to Wisdom Trek, where our mission is to create a legacy of wisdom, to seek out discernment and insights, to boldly grow where few have chosen to grow before. Hello, my friend. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your captain on our journey to increase wisdom and create a living legacy. Thank you for joining us today as we explore wisdom on our second millennium podcast. This is day 1248 of our trek and time for our Philosophy Friday series. Each Friday we will ponder some of the basic truths and mysteries of life and how they can impact us in creating our living legacy. As we continue on this trek that we call life, sometimes we have questions about life, so our Friday trek is a time where we can Ask Gramps. Gramps will answer the questions that you would like to ask your dad or granddad, but for whatever reason, this is not possible. No matter how old we are, I know that all of us would like an opportunity to ask Dad or Gramps questions about life in many areas. We may mix it up a bit on our Friday episodes, but we'll strive to keep them down to earth and enjoyable. If you have any questions that you would like to ask Gramps, please email them to guthrie@wisdom-trek.com. So the question for this week is, Hey Gramps, I know the Bible instructs us to honor God in all areas of our lives, even in our giving of money to others and to the church. But money is always so tight, I can barely make ends meet. What should my response be towards giving? So today let's look at a proper response. The Old Testament was pretty clear on what God desired from the children of Israel and even the entire nation when it came to tithes and offering. Literally, a tithe means a tenth of all increases or income, but that was a mere starting point. Additional offerings were given as gifts to God, which represented the very best of all that you had. One interesting point, though, as with many requirements of the Old Testament law, Jesus did not repeat the letter of the law, but was more concerned about the heart attitude of the person. And this was also true of giving. Jesus never taught that a tithe or tenth or any amount was required to satisfy God, because he desired us to willingly give to God out of a pure heart. Let me continue with this illustration. Imagine this. You don't have a job. Your family has eaten ramen noodles every night for the past month. Then unexpectedly, a kind-hearted friend shows up with a huge box full of food of all kinds, including a very large ham. This kind friend not only gives you the food, but then offers to help you and your family prepare the feast. He even joins you for the feast that you would have never had if it was not for this friend. As the meal begins, you serve yourself and your family large portions of the best parts of the food. After devouring the food quickly, you proceed to get up and put the remaining food away for another meal. You then scrape the remains onto a plate and serve it to your friend who provided the feast. You determine that this is your friend's portion, which is your thanks to your friend. This certainly would not be a gracious response to somebody who has been so generous to you. I'm sure that you're thinking, that's ridiculous. How rude, ungrateful, and unthinkable. But think about it. Is this the picture of how we thank God with all he has given to us? Proverbs chapter 3 verses 9 and 10 tells us to honor the Lord with your wealth and with the best part of everything you produce. Then he will fill your barns with grain and your vats will overflow with good wine. We need to recognize that God is the source of all that we have. If not for his provision and grace, we would be in a state of physical and spiritual poverty without hope or a way out. Our response to his provision, then, should be to take pleasure in giving him the choice portions of the meal that he has given us. He created it, he gave it, and he deserves it. Let that be our heart attitude about giving back to him. Jesus, in Luke chapter 6, verse 38, focuses on the heart attitude. Give and you will receive. Your gift will return to you in full. Pressed down, shaken together to make room for more, running over, and poured into your lap. The amount that you give will determine the amount that you get back. To have this type of mindset does not come all at once. And in the meantime, God is gracious and patient with us. Ask him to increase your faith and show you ways that you can manage your resources prudently so that you can share your resources, time, and effort. Learn to delight yourself in sharing all that God has freely given to you. Share it cheerfully with him and with others. So let me finish today with 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 7. You must each decide in your heart how much to give, and don't give reluctantly or in response to pressure, for God loves a person who gives cheerfully. And that's a wrap for today's question. Join us again next Friday for another question on our Ask Gramps episode. Our next trek will be Meditation Monday, where we will help you to reflect on those most important areas of life. So encourage your friends and family to join us, and then come along with us on Monday for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. If you'd like to listen to any of the past 1,247 daily treks or read the associated journals, they are all available at wisdom-trek.com. And I encourage you to subscribe to Wisdom Trek on your favorite podcast player so that each day will be downloaded to you automatically. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal each day. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and then leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward. Enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you on Monday.